Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Wildflower Tea, and you guys, I am so excited to announce we have a very special guest with us here today. Please help me in welcoming Miss Brittany from Tough Topic.
Oh, special guest? Am I special? Wow.
Thank
That
you.
makes me
First
feel so
off, just
good.
yeah, thank you so much for taking the time out to kind of talk with me a little bit today. I know you're super busy, so I really appreciate it.
Well, it's no problem because that's one of the things that I thought about when we had a very brief conversation of getting to know each other. I like that we are both moms and we put that first priority. We're wives as well.
Yes,
So we
ma'am.
put that as number one. And then being a creator is second always. And you don't find a lot of people like that. So I was like, you know what? I think I can dig this girl,
Amen.
And I
I feel
like
the
that
same
because,
way.
I am a mom first. So whatever comes out has to be second. And I like that we had that in common. And I appreciate you reaching out and wanting me to join.
I love collabing and stuff, but there was just so many things about your channel that I related to and just your personality. And I'm really grateful that you took the time. And you're right. My kids are in there running around. You'll probably hear them
It is
sometime throughout
a
this.
pleasure.
For those of you out there who may not be familiar with Tough or Brittany's channel, do you want me to call you Brittany?
Yes, you can call me Brittany, although I have a lot of subscribers that call me Tough. But yes, you can call me Brittany.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to make sure. So, for anyone out there that may not be familiar with your channel, tell us a little bit about yourself. And for everyone, you can find her link in the description as well. Definitely go check her out and show her some love. But yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Of course, no problem. So, I actually started my channel last year, right after Josh Duggar was arrested. And I have always been a 19 Kids and Counting fan, Counting On fan. So, this
Yes.
news just really shocked me. And I was like, how do I have conversations with someone about this, because literally no one that I talk to, friends, acquaintances, like no one cares about them. But I did. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a channel. So that's what I did, not even realizing, okay, this channel could actually grow. But, I just started growing an audience and I just started giving out more and more content. And I started realizing, hey, this is something I may actually can stick with. But I typically talk about, as just like Wildflower Tea, I talk about a lot of reality TV shows. I talk a lot about pop culture, fundamentalist families, and just current events that's happening. So you never know what you may get on my channel.
I love your Duggar content. That's actually how I found you, was through your Duggar content. And I think it's amazing because my journey on YouTube is very similar to the same thing. I never expected it to really be anything. And then it started to really grow, and
Right,
it's the
right.
whole mindset changes about it. So
Exactly.
I think that's incredible. And it's amazing just how many people are out here that are also, you don't realize how many people are interested in the Duggars,
You
or
don't.
sister
Because I'm
wives, or
like, "Wait a minute, I'm not gonna get a lot of viewers,"
yeah.
because there's not really I didn't think there was a large group of people that actually are interested in fundamentalist or the Duggars or the Bates or anything like that. And then once I started putting out content, I'm like, "Wait a minute, people actually look at this stuff?" So, I kept it going.
Even though there's all these television shows, of course everyone
Right.
watches them, but you just don't think about it like that,
Right,
until you
exactly.
are, reporting on it or talking about it.
Exactly.
And all of a
Exactly.
sudden, 100,000 people are watching a Duggar video. So
Right.
definitely go and check her out, you guys. We are going to be discussing the Duggars here in a little bit. We actually have a variety of different reality TV shows and recaps that we're going to be talking about. I guess what we're going to open up with is, of course, Mama June and the latest episode of the show. I did a quick little clip for those of you who may not have got to see it.
It's more stress that mama just adds on. Alana's missed 2 weeks of school. Josh has missed a couple of weeks of work. Bills are piling up. And of course, we got to pick up the mess because Mama's busy with her new little boy toy.
So when are we gonna get to go meet the girls? I mean, it always seems like it's never the right time.
I want to enjoy you for a minute.
I don't want her in my house. I don't want her on the property. I don't want to see her. I don't want her to pull up and try to talk to her grandkids. I'm done.
I'm gonna graduate soon, but like, should I even invite you to my graduation? Because like, are you even gonna come?
I don't know if I'm gonna invite my mama to my high school graduation, because I might not be important enough for her to even show up.
Oh, that's heavy. It's so heavy.
Kind of sad.
Every time.
Wow.
It's so sad. And every time, even in editing this clip, I don't know. I'm very an emotional person. So every time just seeing Alana's face and seeing how it really does bother me.
Honey Boo Boo, I feel like she had to mature so quickly just because of the circumstances and her growing up on TV. And it's almost shocking to see her even having a conversation like that, to the therapist about graduating and everything. But I just love how her sister Pumpkin has stepped up and kind of become the mom, just because, Mama June has just kind of been in her own little space. And I'm just really excited about the season just to see if, she's grown at all. I'm talking about Mama June, if she's grown or if she's changed at all. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
And that's me too. Like this whole season so far, that's what I've been kind of waiting for, is to see that growth, because, we do talk about the things Mama June does that's wrong or that she could work on and do better a lot. She gets a lot of criticism, and for good reason, for good reason.
Of course.
But she has grown, she's got a couple of years of sobriety under her belt. And I, of course, would never take that away from her. She did this whole 50 states thing where she went and was helping people, like one person per state that's in recovery and getting back on their feet. So those are incredible things. But the issue I think a lot of people have, myself included, is all of that effort she puts into helping others and doing for others to make herself feel better, instead of like the effort for her family and putting that into her family dynamic, her daughters.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. And we are going based upon what we see on television. So there's people that can say, oh, you don't know what she's really going through, or you don't know her life, and all you see is, what she airs on television or social media. And even Mama June has said that herself on TikTok. She was like, you guys don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know anything about my family. And I'm just kind of thinking like, well, we know what you allow producers to display on TV, and that's why you're getting a lot of backlash, because she would get comments saying, oh, another guy in your life, you need to worry about your kids before you, start another relationship and all that. And she would get defensive, but you're putting yourself out there for criticism. You know what I mean? So she kind of, walked into that line of fire, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. And on top of that, as much as she has sat there and say, like, you don't see everything, at the same time, I've seen so many interviews of her saying, the show's so real and raw. We share so much with you guys. It's so unfiltered. It's so real. So it's kind of contradictionary there, or a little bit. The opening of this episode was them finding out that Mama June was positive for COVID after coming to the birthday party. And that really sucked, because Pumpkin, the whole reason Alana didn't get to have a Sweet 16 was because of COVID and Pumpkin being safe. And Mama June said in this episode too, she was like, oh, great. That's just another thing that they're going to put the blame on me for. When it comes to COVID, anybody could get it, right? Even no matter how safe you are.
Right. Of course.
She wasn't anyways, when this was recorded, not taking those safety precautions to make sure that she wasn't spreading it if she had it, which is the big problem.
Exactly.
At the time of recording this, Bentley could not have been more than 3-4 months old, just a little
Mhm.
tiny baby, and
Mhm.
he ended up with it. So they were
Wow.
extremely sick majority of this episode. We did see a lot more of Alana and Draylen's dynamic, her little boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you say little boyfriend.
Yeah.
Visually, he looks about 25. So how
Ye
old is her boyfriend?
So, I'm pretty sure that he's 20 years old. This has been a huge
Oh,
topic of
okay.
conversation as
Okay.
well. I do know a lot of fans have had concerns about that
Mhm.
and have said things. Now, based off of just filming and what we see on the show, so far, he seems to be really respectful, really
That's
kind.
good. That's
They've
good.
not outside of her birthday party, they've not hung out yet
Right.
really a lot, so it's
Right.
mostly talking on the phone. Yeah, so we shall see as the season continues what's gonna
Right.
happen there,
Right. Of course.
but I do think it's important to just note that these shows are filmed, a lot of times 6 months, a year ago,
Right. Right. Right.
prior
Exactly.
to us actually seeing them, so they've been
Right.
together for a year or more
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
point.
And that's why I kind of hate following reality TV stars because it kind of spoils it for if their show is going to come out. And I'm like, you know what?
Yes.
I already know this information, so it sucks that, you got to kind of see it play out. I know they're
Yeah.
under certain contracts and can't reveal certain things, but some stuff is just kind of obvious, like, the Slaton sisters, which I know we're going to be getting into that here in a few, but,
Mhm.
it's sometimes it's like, "Oh, no, I've already found that out. Now I'm gonna know when the show comes on."
Yeah, exactly, especially in what we do, because it's like we try to stay in the loop with what's going on, but it does
Right.
sometimes take the fun out of it when you're a we I don't know about you, but I cover things that I'm really interested in, shows that I really
Exactly.
enjoy.
Exactly.
So so it's kind of those constant spoiler alerts on the thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, so aside from the whole COVID thing, Pumpkin, Josh, and their 2 children, Ella and Bentley, were super sick in this episode. Josh ended up actually in the hospital over it with secondary
Oh, no.
pneumonia. Um,
Wow. I did not know that.
yeah, and he already is not the biggest fan of Mama June.
Right. I saw that in the clip.
Yeah, he's not the biggest fan, so
Yeah.
this did not help by no means. That was after he got better, he was like, "You know what? Nope, I'm done with her. Like, I'm
Right.
so done with
Right.
her." And on top of that, kinda taking it back to Mama June a little bit here, she's got this new boy toy husband now. She has decided that she's going to move back closer to the girls because her exact words, "If I move back there, they'll give me some peace of mind," because they're not really communicating with her.
Right.
They don't want
Right.
anything to do with her at this point. They're not answering her phone calls. So she thinks that if her and Justin move there, that's going to make it better.
Right.
And
Right.
I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna happen. We'll
Right.
see,
Right.
but, like you said, this goes back somewhat to spoiler alerts too, because we do
Right.
know what's going on in present time, and
Right,
it's
and I was just gonna say that I don't want you guys to think that, like, "Oh, no, they're back to get," like, we get that, what's going on now. We're just specifically talking about the actual episode that is aired.
yeah, that's that's the one thing, but with what is going on with present time, it doesn't fit together, so we'll see it play out, we'll see how it plays out, but
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm sure it's not gonna disappoint when it comes to, the drama and the tea because that
Right,
is this
exactly.
yeah, there's constantly something going on with this family, and I love this show.
Yeah,
I think that there is a good they talk about things that a lot of reality shows don't show, and I do love that about this show. Like, just the relationship when you have a parent that is not in the picture like they should, or maybe they're
mhm.
selfish. You don't realize the damage that that can do to a family, and I am glad that they show that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so that's basically the meat and potatoes of this episode. It ended, like you've seen, with Alana talking about how she don't even want to, she don't even know she should invite her mother to her high school graduation because she doesn't think she'll even show up. And if she does show up, she's going to bring her little boyfriend with her, and she's not doing it for Alana. She's doing it for herself, which at this point is becoming kind of a pattern,
Right. And that's heartbreaking,
It is. It is. I don't think maybe I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'd like to think that Mama June doesn't intentionally do things to hurt them. She seems to be very selfish, and maybe not even intentionally. But yeah, like even with the 50 states thing that she did, which was incredible, and the fact that she was helping people, that's awesome. But she
Right.
specifically said she was doing that to make her feel better about herself. It wasn't
Right.
for it wasn't for them, it was for her. So that does seem to be a little bit of a pattern there. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys, make sure you check it out. If you haven't started watching it, it's on WeTV. So check it out. It comes on what, Fridays?
Fridays at 8 p.m.
Fridays.
every
Okay.
Friday.
All
And
right.
I'll leave the information to everything in the description too if you guys want to check it out. I'll also put timestamps for this video if you guys want to
Oh,
skip
yes,
around.
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, because we're going to be covering a lot of different things today. So if you want to skip around, you can check out the description for all the timestamps. But moving on, we're going to go ahead and get into the Slaton sisters. And I just have to thank you, Brittany, for pointing me in the direction of Tammy's TikTok because I got a lot of information from over there.
Yes.
So I
That's
really
pretty much the
appreciate it.
only platform Tammy Slaton is on right now. Of course, she has Instagram, but I think a couple of months ago she stated that she was locked out. So I think she only has like Facebook now and TikTok, but primarily she's on TikTok. She was actually locked out of her old TikTok account that had over 1 million followers. So she actually had to make a new TikTok account. Yes. So
I seen that it was a new TikTok, and I had seen something about it, but yeah, there's a lot of juicy stuff on there, and we're gonna get into it for sure. But
yes.
before we do, Amy Slaton or Halterman, she is actually, we're on baby watch right now. She could be dropping this baby any day.
She's having a scheduled C-section. So if she does, I mean, everybody that has kids or know anything about having kids, even with a scheduled C-section, you could have the baby before then. Like, I mean, things happen. I mean, look at, if you watch the roll-offs, Tori Roloff, her baby was due early and she had a scheduled C-section because she did have another dwarf. So, I mean, babies can come early. So, yeah, we are on baby watch with Amy Slaton, but she's scheduled to be due, I believe it's July 8th. But her baby can come anytime.
Well, and that was what actually with my last two, they were scheduled C-sections, and my first one that I ever had, I actually went into labor prior. So yeah, it definitely happens. It happens all the time.
Right. Yes.
But I knew it was coming up really soon, and I do know she's doing good. The last little update I did get was from a viewer. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. She was seen last week at the Walmart there close to her home in Kentucky, and she was buying some baby necessities. It seems like she was getting prepared for the baby, and that's really awesome. But here are just a couple of pictures of their new home that they recently moved into several months back. And yeah, they seem to be doing really good. I actually love this place. It looks like it's a lot more spacious than what they were in prior to that duplex that they shared with Tammy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sure she loves that.
Yes,
I mean, just
absolutely.
the more room,
And I was gonna say Amy gets a lot of hate, and I guess she gets a lot of heat from a lot of fans, or should I say non-fans, just because of like her living situation and how she lives. And, they pick apart every little picture that she's in about her being dirty or, anything like that.
Yeah,
But you have to think about this. I think that's just the way they were raised. I feel like if she was
absolutely.
ever gonna change and to be like this clean, neat freak person, she would have already done it after, she got her TLC checks. You know what I mean? So I think this is
Yes,
just how she
absolutely.
is. I don't think her or Michael is interested in being these just over the top, like neat, clean, I guess you can say celebrities.
I definitely agree, and I think that she's talked about it briefly because, like you said, she does. It's like she posted a picture with Gage once. People tore it apart over the environment and the way that it looked.
Mhm.
And the thing is she was raised differently, even though they are reality TV stars. They are just regular people. Tammy and Amy both. They don't act like they're better than anyone, and I don't think that they see themselves as celebrities.
No, they don't. They don't.
Yeah, they're just regular people just like you and me, and,
Right.
I know, Amy has said, like, "I do the best I can." I think she does give it a good effort, and I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
it's one of those situations where it's a lot easier to pick apart something. They're
Oh,
public
of course,
figures,
of
you
course.
know, than to really try to put yourself in their shoes or to really step back and think about not everybody's raised the same. Everybody's raised differently, and,
Exactly.
so
And there again, they're putting their lives out there for people to, judge and pick apart. I mean, I haven't seen them quit yet, so they must they
well,
must don't
yeah.
mind it. I mean, because I know they get it. I see it in their comments, just every little
Oh,
thing. Like,
absolutely.
"Oh, she shouldn't be
Yeah,
smoking," which, by the way, I don't know if you've seen, a couple of those, articles of her still smoking with this new baby,
I
but,
did. I did see
people
that.
pick that apart, but, I can't judge her because, it's not like I'm gonna be able to stop her, but,
Right.
it would be nice if she didn't smoke, but, I'm not in her family, I'm not her husband, I'm not a family member, so I can't tell her what to do, but, people are coming for her in them comments, I'm just telling
I know, and see, and that's the thing, that's how I feel too. It's like, of course, we can sit here and say, "Well, that's not the best option for you or the child, health-wise and all of these things," but at the end of the day, it is her life, and she's gonna choose to live it as she does. Health-wise, of course, all the benefits of,
Of
not
course.
smoking is the best option,
Right,
especially if you're pregnant, even if you're not pregnant. But that does lead me into you talking about how if it was a real big, huge thing to them, they would not continue doing it. That
right.
is actually something Tammy brought up on her TikTok that I was able to get here. Let me find it really quick.
That's a great question. And it does. It affects every emotion there possibly can be. All the ups, all the downs, and everything in between. It's a freaking roller coaster ride. Would I give it up? No. Sorry. But no, I wouldn't. I mean, yes, it's depressing at times and stressful at times. But the rewards from it are my good fans. All the peoples. All the peoples. Because without the peoples, I wouldn't have a show. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be kick-ass. But the people watching and following and sharing, and we owe it to y'all. We owe our lives right now to you all. I wouldn't be in Ohio. Amy wouldn't have Gage or the new baby. We owe it to our fans and the people that watch our shows. Haters, not haters, the in-betweeners. That means the people that kind of like us but not sure. But yeah, just everybody. So thank you. Thank you to everybody. good, bad, whatever. However you feel about me. I love you, and God bless you.
I've gotten, I don't know about you, but I've gotten a lot of comments about her being back with the BBW King. So, of course, that was
Yeah.
one of the first things that I went and looked at because initially, like a month ago, I had heard that she was with this guy named Mikey Mooney, and he had posted some photos of them over on Facebook. And he had made this cute little post that says, words can't even express how safe and loved I
Wow.
feel when I'm with you. I'm forever grateful for everything you do, my love. I love you so much. Cheers, baby doll. You're the best thing to have ever walked into my life. And I did a little bit of research on him. And from what I gather, he was someone that she had met within the rehab facility.
Oh, okay.
So that was the impression I was under, was she was with him. But then I started getting these comments saying that she had been on TikTok with the BBW King
Oh,
recently.
yes. Now
And
oh my God. I did a video on that and I was just everybody was just kind of like disgusted, not
yeah,
because of the very uncomfortable kiss that
that's
they
what I was
did,
fixing to show.
but
Yeah.
just because she's back with someone that she said was stalking her or harassing her. I'm
Yeah.
just like, what is going on? And I actually went to his TikTok and he was responding to comments like everything is just for TV. It's not what it
Yeah.
seems. That was a storyline. And I'm just like, oh, is he supposed to be sharing this? So
Yeah.
apparently last year when she broke it off with him and he was stalking her, harassing or whatever, it was for a storyline.
Yeah. Well, and see, and
Oh my God. Please stop. My eyes
I'm
are
sorry,
burning.
but to say that that's
Uh,
a storyline, that seems like a really long kiss for, like it makes you wonder too, like, okay, so it wasn't real then, but now is it real?
Right,
According to
that's what I'm
Tammy,
saying. It's gonna make people feel like, oh, well, that's not even like, why do we even bother?
she's saying it's not that, oh, I'm just his friend, I'm just supporting him. That was 6 days ago she made that and responded to a
Right.
comment.
I'm not chasing after anybody. I was just doing in his video because I like the song. Not every time I post somebody, I'm dating them. Why can't it be just me doing something nice for somebody? I promise that's all it was. Just me trying to be nice to him. I liked his song. That was it. Bottom line. No cap.
Of course, fans, us, everyone, I think at this point is a little bit confused on what's going on, especially when these these pictures of them holding hands and all these things and the long kiss,
Right, right,
that was literally less than a month ago. And then a month prior to that, she's with this Mikey Mooney guy. So
right. It's
I
like,
will
girl.
say she has a tendency of doing that. This isn't the first time she's trolled her audience, like,
Right, right,
made us believe she was with someone that she wasn't really. She's really good at getting views. Like, she
right.
knows what to do and how to troll her audience. That's the
Yes,
best word I
yes.
can use.
I mean, she definitely got me because I mean, it's entertaining and I
Yeah.
just I can't stop watching. I mean, I can stop watching that kiss, but the rest of her life is
Yeah.
so I mean, I'm just like, "Oh my God, when is season 4?" I'm so ready for that.
Me too. I
So,
am too. And Tammy has said on many occasions that there's definitely going to be a season 4. She's excited, even if Amy decides that she just wants to be, a mommy and she doesn't want to record much. Tammy
right.
is ready to go. Another thing, kind of like getting into, is with her weight loss. Now, I
Yeah.
had done a video probably a month back, a few weeks back, talking about just kind of her weight loss journey and where she's at. And after doing some research and looking into it, I had seen a lot of information floating around saying that she was, losing all this weight and she was getting really close to her goal to be able to leave the rehab facility. Based off of these videos, it seems that she is still in there.
Yes, definitely.
I don't think she said one way or the other, but just based off of the backgrounds and everything, it seems to be that she is. I had heard, once again, y'all take this with a grain of salt, but I had heard that of course, she still has her trach in, but allegedly they've made it smaller, so it's a smaller trach, and she doesn't have to wear it full time. She's only wearing it part time now. I don't
Okay.
know if that is like set in stone, but that is what a source close to her
Yeah.
had said to The Sun. This here was another one of her TikTok videos I wanted to play really quickly of someone calling her out. And I think you told me about this too when we were talking yesterday about her drinking
Like a Sprite Zero. Yeah.
Yes, and she talks about it. So I'm going to play that one really quick.
Nah, you absolutely right. I'm not supposed to be drinking Pepsis or Sprites and Mountain Dews or whatever. Unless they diet. Or zero. Zero sugar, zero. And doctor said 1 soda a day. 0. So, what's your problem? What's your problem?
She can get super sassy.
I mean, I was gonna say, is it just me or is it she just has such a negative attitude towards anything? There are so many positive comments in her under her comment section, but she likes to respond to the negative. And I'm just like, just keep your head up. Don't worry about the people who are saying negative things. Just comment to some of the positive ones. You know what I'm saying? It's like she wants an attitude with someone. She always wants a fight with someone. Like she's always on defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely do. She does kind of always seem to lean more towards the negative side of things. She does like to troll her audience. She likes to put things. So I don't know if it is, just to create that, like the quote says, drama sells type thing. If she's talking about these things, more people will watch. If it's that, and so she just kind of gravitates towards it because she knows that's what people want to hear her talk about. It could be that, or if that's just, what she sees. I know it can be really difficult whenever you're getting a lot of negativity or hate comments or something like that to ignore it. But like you said, it's always better to starve the troll. Don't
Rise above that. Rise above it. Have a positive attitude. Share with people what you did good. Like you don't have to always be in defense mode. Just be like, I thank you for your concern, but I did X, Y, and Z. I mean, it doesn't always have to be something negative. But on that note, the Sprite Zero, I'm not gonna lie, I have a full 12-pack of Coke Zeros in my fridge. I know they're not the healthiest, but I do know that I have lost maybe 35 pounds since last October by transferring to Zero. And I'm going to tell you, it was not intentional to do that, but I just noticed myself dropping weight,
that's awesome.
But I know it's a whole nother situation when you're 600 pounds, versus what I am. So I get it. And I know with sodas, it can be very hard to overcome that urge.
Absolutely.
So I try to see her side of things, but a lot of people were like, what's wrong with water? Just drink water. But it's probably just still hard for her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that does go back to we only see a 30-second clip from TikTok. She may drink water all day. She specifically said she's allowed to have one a day. So it goes back to that accountability thing where it's like, do you take her at her word and she's doing right and trust that? And I understand why there is like a trust issue there because we have seen we've seen a lot of ups and downs with Tammy. A lot of it, I believe, is mental health related. And
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
that on its own, struggling with mental health, it's difficult. And unless you know how difficult it can to overcome those things, it goes back to it's a lot easier to be judgmental than to really think about she's struggling. It's
Right.
obvious, not only physically but mentally. So that's a double whammy that she battling with herself.
Right.
And so I'm trying to be positive and give her the benefit of the doubt that she's putting in
Yeah.
the work, she's doing like she is supposed to. And we'll see. I'm excited for season 4 and to see
Absolutely.
what
Absolutely.
happens.
Me too.
You are going to take the reins on this one a little bit
Okay.
because you're so much more familiar with the Duggars. Like I said, that
Yeah.
a lot of what I know about the Duggars is from your content. So thank you so
Oh,
much.
how sweet.
That's how I fell in love with your channel initially, is your Duggar content, the way you covered it, reported it. And I have always tried to stay in the loop. There's always so much going on with the family though. So
Right, right,
it's kind of hard to stay in the loop. So kudos to
right.
you for being able to, stay up to beat with all of it because it's a lot. There's
You have
always
to, it
something
is. I
happening.
mean, they have what, 21 people in their family, and it's
Yeah.
kind of hard not to, miss anything. For all of you that are watching, if you are up to date with the Duggars, you probably already know that Josh, he was sentenced to 12 years in prison for his horrible, horrible crimes. I'm sure if you're not hiding under a rock, you already know that. But
Oh,
we know that his wife, Anna Duggar, is sticking by him regardless of what his crimes are, what he's done. They are a very religious family, so they do not believe in divorce no matter what. We know that he's
yeah.
already cheated on her multiple times. He's already done some horrible things when he was a child, to his sisters and what have you, but I don't have to get into that. But I did want to talk about him finally getting transferred. I did post a video yesterday. It was a video that came from knwa.com. So basically it's a news source in Arkansas. And they posted the video of him being transferred out of Washington County jail to wherever he's going. And
I see that.
he looked so unrecognizable when I was watching the video. I didn't even realize it was him. It
Yeah.
looks like he has put on about 25 pounds, if I'm going to
Mhm.
judge, give or take. His suit fit very snug on him, and you could see a visible change.
Yeah, you definitely could. That was the first thing I noticed as
Right.
well was the
Everybody was
weight
like,
gain.
"What?"
Yeah.
But here's what I want to ask you and the audience. Anna, on her birthday, she did finally say something which she has been very, very quiet on her all social media platforms. But on her birthday, she put officially 34. She put 14 years since I said yes, road tripping to visit my bestie. And then she put some more quotes from a song. So here's the thing with that. She is making sure we all know that she is still with Josh because she's making people aware that it's been 14 years since she's been engaged to him. So if she wasn't planning on being with him, she wouldn't have even added that on there.
You're
And she
right.
says road tripping with my bestie. So ironically, she is going on a road trip to visit her bestie, which is still unknown because she doesn't have any besties. I mean, that I know of. I haven't seen her with any besties other than like
Right.
her sisters. If it was her sister, she would say her sisters.
Yeah.
But and ironically, Josh gets transferred out yesterday. So I just feel like that's a little bit I guess you could say, I'm not gonna say concerning, but suspicious. Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think that she is on that road trip to go see her man?
That's the first thing I thought as well, because I'm sure that's not something she would publicly just come out and say due to all of the backlash that they have
Right.
received. She
Right.
has been really quiet. Like you said, she's not said much at all, and everything she has said has always been in support of Josh.
Right.
So I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised, girl, not in the slightest. I
And
think
you're right.
on
You're
to
right. A lot
something.
of things that she said has always been in support of him. The last thing that she actually posted prior to this was something. There's more to the story, and she shared a link with was just like documents about his trial, and his
Yeah.
case. So that was in support of him. And
And oh my goodness, this isn't really off topic, but it kind of ties in. I recently, I think last month, had read the letters that were in the court documents
right,
in support of
right.
him.
Yes, yes.
Those were really, really hard to digest as well.
Those
Um,
letters were just ridiculous because, for one, who is wanting someone to quickly be released from, jail or prison
yeah.
with the crimes that they've done?
Mhm.
Who does that? And I always tell my audience, like, I have kids, but if they're in the wrong, they're in the wrong. Serve your time. And
Mhm.
tying in with what I've just stated, Jeremy Vuolo, who is Ginger Duggar's husband,
Yeah.
he went on his YouTube channel and really just let it all out. He was giving verses. He was saying how anyone who has supported, him through that is just as bad. He's basically saying, if you're not facing your consequences for what you did, then you're not a true Christian, is what
Yeah.
he's saying. Because I mean, those letters were just outrageous. And there was a lot of people who didn't write a letter. And there's some
Yeah.
people who wrote a negative letter, like Amy Duggar King, which she's a king now, but she's cousin Amy. And she actually went and did a full interview on The Sun of saying how disgusting, it was for people to write these leniency letters to Josh, and she was telling the judge, please give him maximum sentence and everything. And so there's some that, are against it, but
Yeah.
how
I
much how
seen
much how
that.
much of that Amy is doing, how much of that is actually for attention, and how much of it is
Exactly.
he actually cares? Because I'm just like, you are
That's how
very
I
vocal
feel.
about this now.
Yeah, and that's how I feel too, and I felt that way for a while, especially after those letters came out. I felt like it was somewhat, like, beneficial to her to
Mhm.
speak out now,
Right,
it
right,
seemed opportunistic, there you go. It
right,
was
right,
opportunistic
right,
for the all this time that she could have said something, and she did not until this happened, and by no
right,
like, I'm glad she did, it needed to be said by
right, right.
the whole family, I love seeing Jeremy, and I will insert some clips. Everything,
Mhm.
once again, will be in the description as well, but
Right, right,
yeah, like, when I seen that, I was, very glad to see that there were people in the family speaking out.
right,
Um, I'm hoping that with time I'm hopeful that with time, more people will. I did a video kinda just going over, like, Anna and his mother, their letters, and talking about how, you know, any family, this happens a lot of times where it's a very serious case, a
right,
son, a brother, a
right,
sister, and they've done something horrific like this, and it takes some time for the family to come around,
right,
especially when you're
right.
super religious.
Exactly,
So it's
exactly.
gonna take time, but
Right.
I'm hopeful that one day they will come around and see
Oh,
the
yeah,
truth here.
definitely. They can't hide forever. I mean, and I know, like you said, they may just need time to speak about this particular situation, but sometimes silence speaks volumes.
It does.
Sometimes it's like, okay, you're silent about it. So does that mean you're okay with it? You're not speaking out, like saying, justice is served for these
Yeah.
children who were in these videos. I mean, I didn't hear anyone say that aside from, Jill and her husband, Derek.
They have to come around to it sooner or later. And
Right,
I
right.
was curious, like, do you think, because the way I look at it is, it could be like a defense mechanism, a way for
Mhm.
them to protect themselves because they
Yeah,
don't want to
absolutely.
see him for what he really is.
Right,
They want to
right,
see the Josh that they have known as their son, their husband, their whatever, that these
right, right.
letters depict instead of the truth. And it could
Mhm.
be a defense mechanism for themselves because once they do come to that truth and realization, there's no turning back from that. They will have to
Right,
work through it,
right, right. Here again, I'm tying this to what Jeremy was saying. He's saying, what a person does behind closed doors is the person that they are,
Yep.
because you're hiding this, that's who you truly are.
Yeah.
And repentance is, you can repent, but if you are asking for, another trial, or if you're asking to appeal the trial and not actually facing the consequences that were given to you, then you haven't repented. You know what I'm
Exactly. Yeah.
saying? And
Absolutely.
it's just crazy because Anna, I feel, in my personal opinion, I know everybody has different opinions on this, she is truly brainwashed
Yeah.
because we don't know what Josh is telling her on the phone. We don't
Yeah.
know what Josh is probably, telling her when he sees her. You know what I'm saying? So
Goodness.
just the world
Just
that they live in is just crazy.
Yeah, it really, really is. Us on the outside looking in, it trying to understand the dynamic and, um, it's interesting, but at the same time, it's heartbreaking. It's
Yeah,
heartbreaking,
absolutely. Absolutely.
all that, it's a lot, and
Right.
they're brainwashed, and we've seen
Right.
that, you know,
Um,
s so many of them in just in that in general, like the fundamentalist have
mhm.
came forward and break through with their own stories, and once they do, it's heartbreaking to see what they
Right.
go through.
Right. I was looking for, typically when you're found guilty, you will stand up and have a letter apologizing to the victims and XYZ. I was really looking for that, for Josh to actually apologize, who he's hurt, stand up on. I've seen a lot of it, but surprisingly, he didn't. And I'm like, that would have been the point where you may have gotten some people to actually forgive you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Once you
yeah,
stand up and acknowledge what you did was wrong, that would have been the point where people would probably start more supporting the Duggar family, or, forgiving him. Not saying they're going to like him, but just at least having that forgiveness. Like, you know what? He stood up, he owned what he did was wrong,
yeah.
but he didn't. He's still trying to say it wasn't him. So that's the cowardly.
Yes, ma'am, you're
That's
right.
the coward in him, and that's what's sad.
It is. It's excruciating because when you can't even, like, put aside your pride or whatever it
Mhm.
is to see that what you did was wrong. It was wrong, it was horrific. And, in their religion and stuff, I know that's like a big thing when you do something wrong, you repent and you ask for forgiveness and
Right.
the fact that he didn't, I think that that speaks measures.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So, and I was waiting on that. I'm like, well, is he ever gonna just apologize and say, yeah, what I did was wrong? Especially the evidence that was found, like, or at least owning up to some of it. So you mean to tell me none of that was you? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah, there's
It's just
no way.
we could literally sit here and talk about that for hours, but
I know.
I'm just, you guys get the full scoop, on my channel. When something comes out, you'll hear it from me and you'll hear my honest opinion. I don't try to sugarcoat it, I'm just giving you my opinion on it. So,
I watched your recent video,
mhm.
kinda talking about the silence since all of this has come out with the versus Wade,
Right,
um,
right.
and that also is very surprising to me. I understand that there's a lot of backlash right now towards their family, but
Yes,
everything that they've stood on for
was that.
decades is
Yes.
it's like it's gone.
Was that. That's what I mean, Josh worked for the Family Research Council. You know what I'm saying? So that was his job, to stand up for pro-life. And they even went on tours, like they went to different states, like advocating for pro-life. And that
Yeah.
was one of their big things. They even had, I'll get you a picture, but they even had t-shirts that said something about pro-life is better than something. I don't know. I'll have to give you the picture, but it's crazy that they are just quiet. Like, are you that scared of what people are going to say about you to literally be quiet on something that you literally talked about for most of your lives? You know what I mean? Like, they're little talking
Yeah.
about pro-choice, you know? I meant pro-life,
Mhm.
should I say. And it's
And now
crazy.
silence.
Nobody mentioned it. Nobody from the Duggar family mentioned anything except for Amy. Amy was putting some tweets out, you know, saying justice is served for the unborn. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
guessing people were attacking her left and right, because she was just like, can't we just meet in the middle? Why does everyone have to come on here and attack one another? You know?
Yeah, this goes back to what we were literally just saying about the opportunistic thing. We
Mhm.
see in real time here, and you know, I follow Amy. I love she tweets about things a lot of times that I agree with and I really enjoy from her. But when it comes to certain things, it does. Sometimes if it does come off kind of opportunistic.
It
And
does. It
this,
does.
in my opinion, was a situation where it seemed like, as you said, she backpedaled a little bit
Mhm.
here, starting off, you know, praising the fact that this was overturned and all of
Yes.
this has happened
Yes, saying, "Thank you, Jesus." Like, she was so happy about it until she
until
started getting backlash. So now
oh, yeah, well, and it says, so right after that, she just a couple of the comments that came through was people just calling her out saying, you know, "This isn't right. What are you celebrating?" A lot of people were curious on what she was celebrating, and this one's a little bit heavier. I will put trigger warnings in when I edit this, but, it says, "So if an 11-year-old gets AR'd by her own father and ends up pregnant, she should be forced to carry and give birth to that baby. Women's rights just got pushed back 50 years, and you're celebrating that. This is such a dangerous precedent." And there were a lot of comments like that
yeah, a
from
lot of
people,
them.
a lot of them. So then shortly after this, same day, she posted, "Also, I'm sure that there will be guidelines in emergency/deathly complications procedure situations. But think of how many babies our country has KILL'd. You cannot tell me we haven't K word the child that could have cured cancer or that could have had a chance to change the world." I know
Oh,
you mentioned this on your channel. I'm not very political on my channel either.
no, not at
I
all.
don't discuss these types of things, but this is big. It is
Right.
big, and I think that this does affect the world. So it's a
Mhm.
little different, you know? And then like you said, the backpedaling started yesterday. After getting these comments, this is just an assumption, but I'm assuming because of the backlash, she comes out and says, "I'm just like a lot of you. Of course, I don't want innocent babies, but I'm curious to see what each state will decide to do. I have questions regarding the health issues of a woman if a woman is assaulted. I get the anger. I get why people are in an uproar." So you can see she's like kind of talking about the other side of things and what other
Right.
people are saying
Right.
about it. And
Right, because
then
that wasn't how she felt initially. Initially, she was, like, jumping
celebrating.
for joy, celebrating and everything, and now that people are kinda, like, coming in, you know, I guess she didn't expect that, so now she has to, like, you know, take
She
it back a
softens
little
it
bit.
down. Yeah, softens it
Right,
down a little bit.
right.
And then she put this one saying that she believes the Roy versus Wade will cause riots, panic, and more chaos. There has got to be a middle ground for this sensitive subject or something, right? Here's the thing, there's not going to be middle ground here. I think that's something we can all agree on. You're either on one side or the other of this.
Right, right.
it's really serious. So to expect a middle ground, like, yeah, that would be great, but it's not going to happen.
Right.
I
Right.
think she put, can Twitter be a platform where we can discuss and not attack each other? My gosh, every time I get on here, I'm appalled on how people treat each other. If you're going to talk about such a serious topic and be very opinionated on it, it's something like this on Twitter, you know, that is the place where people do. They're very open over there and they tell you like it is. And that's the big
Right.
thing about
Right.
Twitter. And
Right.
this, once again, is a very, very serious situation. So, of course, people are going to feel strongly about it.
Of course.
You know,
I just actually opened a Twitter maybe a few weeks ago just because I wanted an opportunity to just speak my mind or what's on my mind at
yeah,
that moment. And I feel like Twitter is the place to do that,
it
especially
is.
with me now having my channel. I just
Yeah.
wanted to express myself in that way. And, you know,
And Twitter is the perfect place. You can say how you feel with very little filter over there. That's the
yeah,
whole thing about Twitter. It's those spur of the moment thoughts that come into your head and you're like, "Hey, I'm just going to put that out there."
right,
Um,
right.
so it definitely is the platform where if you're not wanting criticism, you don't want to go to Twitter, you know.
Right, exactly, exactly. That's the wrong place to put it.
I just think that it is very much wishful thinking for her to think that she could say something like that, and
Right,
especially right now in the
right,
heat of it,
right,
and there not be backlash, you
right.
know?
Absolutely. You know, Amy, if you were listening to this, just you better have some thick skin if you're gonna put something up like that and be able to back yourself up. Don't backpedal, honey.
Thick skin, girl. You're gonna have to have it. It's and you know, and we've seen her go through this somewhat a little bit as well whenever she opened up after Josh's sentencing and these letters and everything came out. A lot of people were essentially saying like, you know, you've had all this time to say something and you just are now saying it. Why? Because everyone else is like it does. I want to believe it, just like in anyone, I want to believe that it's truly how she feels and you know that she's speaking out because that's truly how she feels. But it makes you wonder or question why she waited so long to say something because it's not new news.
Right,
Um,
exactly,
but
exactly.
then again, that does go back to like they're public figures, and I know that they
Right.
have to be really careful on how they say things, so I'm not trying to be too judgmental about it, you know, I don't know what I would do in that position, but yeah, you know, I can
Right,
see why people would
right.
say that.
And this is kind of off what we're talking about right now, but it's still following in with the Duggars. It looks like Anna has updated her profile on Instagram to happily married. Remember, I was talking
Yeah.
about just a few moments ago that, you know, she's letting everybody know she is still with this man. But she put
Yep.
happily married and have 7 beautiful children. So before it was saying, you know, I'm a Christian, married with 6 kids, and now she has updated it to 7. So if
Well, I guess that
anybody is
kinda gives
wondering, she is not going anywhere. If anybody is wondering, she has updated her profile.
one day, maybe one day, you know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, but
it's
it's gonna take a lot to get through her, it looks like. Looks like
I know.
she's gonna be a tough cookie to get across.
I know that just goes back to the brainwashing of it all, and it's
Yeah,
hard because outside of this, you know, as hard as it is to look outside of it, Anna seems to be a wonderful mother, a
right,
well-rounded family
right.
person, and it's just really sad to see. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think. If you enjoyed this, this is my first time really sitting down more podcast style and kind of chatting like this about reality TV. If you like this, maybe we can do a round 2. There's always so much to talk about in reality TV. Once again, please go, if you haven't already, please go and check out Tough Topic. Her channel will be linked down below.
Thank you so
Love
much.
her content. And I think you guys will too. If you're here I think you'll really enjoy her. If you haven't already, please give this video a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing, doing all the YouTube things. And until next time, guys, bye.
Bye. See you next time.